Hi there. In this episode, we're going to explore the beginnings of European exploration. We're going to start out with the Vikings. Of course, the Vikings were the first ones to reach North America. They're most well known for raiding other countries throughout Northern Europe and actually had quite an expansive trade network. The myth of the Viking helmet with the horns, though, is just that, a myth. As you can see from the archaeological artifact in the photo, there were no horns on a Viking's helmet. Leif Erikson is given credit for reaching North America first. A year around 1000, he leaves Norway and ends up blown off course. He lands in the Labrador Peninsula of what is present-day Canada. He's going to sail further south to what today is Newfoundland and perhaps even as far as New England. He's going to try to settle in North America, but his people are going to be attacked by Native Americans. And the areas, of course, are very isolated, and the Vikings end up returning to Europe. In southern Europe, they're also looking to the sea. Most notably is Prince Henry the Navigator of Portugal. He establishes a school for sailors and has the financial support of the Portuguese monarchy behind him. It's going to lead to great advances in exploration in the 1400s. He's going to build observatories, schools for navigation. He's going to help finance map makers and shipbuilders, and he's going to pay for expeditions that kind of hopscotch down the coast of Africa and explores that region. With this exploration, we also have motivations for it. The big one is looking for a sea route to Asia to expand trade. At the time, the trade routes were going across the Middle East along the infamous Silk Road that went all the way to China. Really, this advancement in exploration is spurred on by economics. They're looking to cut out the middlemen. The Silk Road and the trading networks throughout the Middle East raised the cost of products because those middlemen would add on to the cost. So really, they're just trying to cut out that middleman and get directly to Asia to buy the products. On top of that, though, they are trying to spread Christianity to new and other people. With this comes some technological advances. The first one we're going to talk about is the Astrolabe. It is basically allows navigators to use stars to chart their location. It made it much easier to navigate the seas further away from the coast of land. The Portuguese also began developing smaller, lighter, quicker ships that were much easier to steer. These are called caravels, and their triangular sails allowed the ships to sail against the wind, which made it very convenient for them to navigate. The Portuguese are going to send more and more sailors down the coast of Africa. The one that's very important is Bartholomew Dias. He's going to explore down the African coast all the way to the Cape of Good Hope, which is at the very southern tip of Africa. This is going to lead to Vasco da Gama. In 1497, he's going to go all the way around the Cape of Good Hope and find that all sea route to Asia. He's going to go all the way to India. As a result of this exploration, the Portuguese are going to get very, very wealthy. As they're exploring the coast of Africa, they're going to trade gold, ivory, and slaves. This is going to have a devastating effect on African communities. As the slave trade expands, it's going to break up family, and it's going to lead to warfare among kingdoms. Those kingdoms are going to go on the coast, are going to go into the interior, capture slaves so they can trade them with the Europeans. These slaves at this point are going to be sent to Europe and to islands in the Atlantic, where they're going to be living in brutal conditions. Of course, this new trade increases the wealth of the Portuguese and their power. As the rest of Europe sees the Portuguese gain more and more wealth, they're going to be spurred on to join this spur of exploration as well. Okay, that's it for this episode.